soon if we can hit the note. Gun smoking and tweet faking. Lost but we creep chasing. The law watch it all from a screen waiting. Only the players in scene chasing. I'm out of the free basic. Nothing new we falling since creation. Same sun, change location for a different style. My hand high but stay grounded when I let my eyes.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Fairly Decent Podcast. I'm your host, Jason. And today we're doing a little something different. I got a Richmond legend, somebody who cares about hip hop, somebody who cares about music in general, somebody who cares about the community, somebody who cares, about the place that he's from, whether it's here or somewhere else, and a father. And I'm just gonna give it up. I got Noah O in the building with me today. So this is gonna be a little bit different because my viewership probably doesn't know Noah O. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let him kind of give you a little, backstory on to, what he has going on and where he's from and kind of just his little backstory without taking too much time, obviously, but, the quick rundown of what you got going on.
Where you want me to start?
Start from, all right, let's start with, your road to Richmond. Like, how did you get to Richmond?
So originally, I was born in San Francisco. I was raised in the Bay Area.
Okay.
My pops was from Richmond. My dad was born in Richmond. He grew up in Richmond and Chicago. Then he ended up on the West Coast. That's where he met my mom. When I was about in middle school, my father moved back to Richmond, and it was around that time that my mom sent me and my sister to live with him. And then that's when I grew up in Richmond from 7th grade until now. So that's how I ended up here.
Cool. So like what high school did you go to around here?
I went to a few different high schools.
Okay.
I started off at Hermitage High School in Henrico County.
Okay.
From there, I had to go to alternative school, which is Virginia Randolph High School. That's like a trade school. And then I ended up at Highland Springs for a little while, then back to Virginia Randolph. So that's where I graduated from, Virginia Randolph Community High School.
Okay, so you've pretty much been here for like the formative, at least, years of your life.
Definitely.
Word. So like when did the music start?
When I was about, in high school, probably like 9th grade, I was like probably starting to write raps. 10th grade, probably starting to freestyle, get comfortable with rapping around people. But I think the first time I went to the studio was probably like 11th grade.
Right.
That's when I probably started going to studio in like 10th or 11th grade.
That's like when you really started taking it serious, or you was just having fun still?
Having fun still. It probably wasn't till I thought I was serious at the time.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I say maybe 11th, 12th grade. I seriously like starting to think about that I wanted to probably rap for the rest of my life, or I wanted to be a rapper.
Word.
As a job. Yeah.
Word. So like getting into rap, like what inspired you to rap, or who inspired you to rap?
Shoot, man, just like really everything about hip hop. Like I was fortunate to grow up in the 90s when like there was just a lot of dope music. Like, so It wasn't any particular person, it was just the culture as a whole. But I'd say like, initially it was probably like Tupac was one of my favorite rappers, and Nas. Those two was like my favorites.
Definitely.
And of course like Outkast, they was like my favorite group. But even everybody, like I like Gang Starr, I like Jay-Z a lot, Biggie, just anybody who was out during that time. But I say really, of course, Big Pun, that was one of my favorites. But different people inspire me for different reasons.
Different reasons, for sure.
People like Jay-Z and E40 inspired me as far as like how they conducted their business. Master P too, like it was more so how they were in control of their business. But as far as just like message-wise, things like that, I think it was like Tupac and Nas. So
was it always business-minded from the beginning, or was it more so like the dedication to music or anything like that? Or did you always have the business like in mind? Because I see now like the business is definitely like the forefront to like what you're doing, but like, has it always been that way?
I think initially like I think like looking back, I think initially I wanted to rap, and then I thought, hopefully somebody would discover me and recognize my talent. But the more I did it, the more I realized, I looked up to the people who were in control of their own destinies. And so it's like over time, just out of necessity, especially being from Richmond, in Virginia as a whole,
Yeah.
it felt like we were overlooked. So when you come from somewhere where, it's just a low possibility of you getting quote unquote discovered, it just like hit me that if I wanted to do this and at the level I wanted to do it at, we would have to take a lot of that into our own hands. So it wasn't, I wouldn't say like at the time, I knew that like I wanted to do the business side. It's just like it became a necessity. And the more, I knew I loved hip hop and I wanted to always do it. But if nobody was gonna help me, the only way I would get to continue to do it is to make sure I put myself
in a financial position.
Yeah, financially, even creatively. Like when you're not in control, you're always at the mercy of somebody. So like even as a kid, it's like, all right, I don't have nobody to pay for studio time.
Right.
I didn't want that. It's like, what are we gonna do? If I want to get in the studio, I'm gonna have to find my own money to do it. If I want to make an album, it's not just sitting around waiting for somebody older or for somebody to like give me their blessing or give me the money to do it. If we wanted to do it, we was gonna have to do it for ourselves. So like,
for sure,
I think it's just adopting that mindset, and it just I always had that mindset,
right?
But just applying that mindset to my creativity.
Right.
Like that's how it kind of led to where we're at now.
For sure. I want to go back to something you just said. You said that you feel like, I think a lot of people feel this way, that Richmond gets overlooked. Mm-hmm. Why do you think that is?
I mean, I think anywhere, like, Richmond is not unique in that sense. Like there's like 100, there's hundreds of cities in America.
Right.
And every city, there's probably some person who has this same dream. So you can only have 10 top 10 cities, right? You can only have one New York, one Atlanta, one Miami, one LA, one Bay Area. So it's like those places are already bigger markets, and thriving. So like I think sometimes when people come from smaller markets, like they have this wishful thinking, like, oh, one day this place is gonna become like those places, but it's not. That's the truth. Is like it's not. Those places have a bigger profile. They're just bigger markets. So it's like if you're not from one of these places that's already on a map worldwide, like what are you gonna do to put yourself on the map? And it's just one of those things, I think.
But Richmond still has its own identity. It's not lost in the weeds.
Nah, Virginia as a whole, like, that's been proven for Virginia to be like, for one, we don't have any major sports teams, things like that. We don't have any like worldwide cosmopolitan city that attracts people from all over the world, but we do have, it's proven already, like in hip hop culture, we have people who've made significant contributions, whether it's like Pharrell, Missy, Clips, Timberland, even somebody like Skills, like we have, or D'Angelo, we have people who've made an impact within the music, the urban side of music. And, we've had a ton of producers who produce hit songs. I think sometimes it's like, till a rapper like makes it from somewhere and really like makes it on a huge level, people feel like it's not really on the map yet, like the artist there. But we've had a lot of artists from Richmond signed to like major labels. Like even now, 2 artists from Virginia at this very moment have songs in the
big
top
records.
10. Yeah,
big records.
So like, I think it's changing where those in the know, people in the music industry, they know that like Virginia has like
has the talent.
Yeah,
it's undeniable. Do you ever, with all the stuff you have going on, do you ever feel like some of the weight is on your shoulders, to take Richmond to that next level? Or
I think I think of it like that. I'm just trying to do my part, right?
Right.
Like, so it's like, if I've been able to move around. You know, I do travel. I go to New York, California, Atlanta. So it's like each time I go to these places and I make connections, I try to do my part to bring that back home.
For sure.
You know, I've done that through the last few years. I've helped bring like platforms to Virginia. Even with this upcoming festival, I have, you know, several platforms coming to Richmond. And for real, that's because, like, when you're from a smaller market, especially like Richmond or Virginia, we don't have the media.
We have to use somebody else in order
another market
to boost our shit. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's just, you know, that's just part of it. So I think, like, in addition to me going on those platforms, I do platforms like yours. Where It's like I hit everybody's platform because it all matters to help spread like awareness of my music, events, things I have going on, my business, things like that. But I don't think like I feel like that weight on me because I'm just trying to do my part. And, you know, to each his own. Some people, I'm not knocking them. They just do what's good for them. I think for me, I've learned over time the best thing I could do is the more people I help or the more bigger spotlight I could just like put on our area. It helps me in the end. And I know it's bigger than me. You know, I have talent, I have music, but I know there's a ton of people who do. So I think, you know, just trying to, just do my part. I think
for sure
that's my job.
So, I mean, you probably get this question so much, but again, new to my platform. So just for anybody who might not know, I mean, what are your, I mean, you've had a long run. Like, what are some of your best moments thus far?
Shoot, like just sitting in this store right now, that's
for sure.
This is, you know, one of the biggest like things I've always wanted to do in my life. Like, if y'all don't know, you just watching this for the first time. We're in the Charged Up store. Charged Up is our label, started as a movement, a collective, and now it's a physical place. We've had studios. You know, all of these have been like just pieces added to like my story or things I've done throughout the year, but definitely opening a store was something big for me. There's something, I've always been into clothes since I've been a kid.
For sure.
And I've been on different, you know, I've had different projects and things like that have made an impact. So like, it's not any one moment, but like putting out my album, Monument Avenue, was a good step in my career. I've been on Sway in the Morning a few times. Things like that have all helped. Just getting on different platforms, different media outlets have helped to raise awareness of what I'm doing. So
that's dope.
Yeah,
that's really dope. I didn't know that until like probably last week that you had a video on MTV. I had no idea until like last week.
Yeah, you know, that at the time, that was like in 2012. At the time, that was the biggest thing I had done up until that
For sure.
point. But like, again, I've been doing this since I've been a kid. So like as long as I've kept going, like every year there's been probably something that adds
to it.
Yeah, and that's like the key thing I probably learned is just like, if this is the thing I want to do with my life for the rest of my life, as long as I'm like working and making moves, there's always going to be something, you know, to be proud of.
Right.
You feel me? Or something I've learned along the way, or an impact I've made. So it's like every year, like it's something. Like last year, you know, we were able to, 2022, we opened the store. Last year, we was able to celebrate like our 1 year anniversary.
That's so dope.
We brought Top Shelf Premium here. Like, to me, that was a big achievement. And I haven't even, like, we got Top Shelf, which is a significant underground hip hop platform in Virginia. I mean, that means a lot to me, where it's like, there's a lot bigger cities that they've never recorded in.
Right.
But they recorded here in Richmond from Charged Up. Like, to me, that's a big deal, where I haven't even been on Top Shelf as a solo artist.
Yeah.
But I was able to use, you know, the brand I built, the movement we built, to put a lot of artists, you know, that have never been on there on that episode. So like things like that, are definitely things I'm proud of.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's hard to like kind of add up everything in like totality when you've done like when you've been doing it for so long. Some stuff, you know, just kind of fades in and fades out. So I know it's hard to like just put everything into one box. But like all business aside, we'll just set all that stuff aside for a second. Like, what do you like to do for fun?
Shoot, this is, you know, like this is what I do. I don't do nothing else. I spend time, I have children, I spend time with my kids, but like I think there's like a saying that when you do what you love, you
Never go to work.
You never work a day. So it's
sure.
like once upon a time as a kid, I wanted to do this every day. You know, when I'd be at like jobs I hated or like at school, this is what I would dream about is like, man, I'd rather be doing some rap related stuff or like hip hop related. So now that every day of my life, like I'm doing something hip hop related, like kind of bleeds together. When I'm not doing this, I don't do nothing. I probably just go to sleep.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like,
so like, I know this is an obvious answer.
I don't do anything like, besides this, I don't do nothing.
You don't like,
I don't play video games. I don't do nothing. Like, I don't even know how to answer that. People are like, what do you do for you? Like, I think it's like this, even though I'm doing this every day is work, this is what I'm doing for me. So like, I don't have anything really that I don't know, man. I don't do nothing.
I feel you though. I feel you 100%. It's like at some point when you go all in, you literally go all in, and it's like when there's no turning back. That's a literal statement. Like there is absolute no turning back. Like
I remember before. I think like, man, a few years ago, I had to like really be honest with myself, and it took like people around me, or really I had somebody who was my friend who became like my manager. And he was like, he's just, you know, real friends are gonna tell you the truth. He was like, you gotta do more. If you're not happy with where you are, you're not satisfied, you say you wanna be at this level, you have to do more.
For sure.
And I didn't wanna hear that. I kinda took it personal, like, man, what do you mean I'm doing all that?
I'm doing the most, and like.
But I really wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, and I just started doing more. Like I started taking more risks, and I was trying to, you know, I think sometimes like you try to find a balance, right? Where you're still comfortable and you do things for yourself. Like, you know, like you might like shoes or you want to have a nice car, this and that. I think you hear these stories about people who became successful, like where they really sacrificed everything.
For sure.
And I hadn't done that. So I had to really like do that where I sacrificed even more to put into what I was doing. And once I really did that and was honest with myself, like I'm not doing the most that I can. I'm trying to do 80% or 60% and still get 100% results.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I had to really like, put in more work, you know?
Yeah, so like on my platform, every week we kind of talk about, you know, I don't know if you know this, but last year I survived a full liver transplant.
Oh man.
And so yeah, coming back from that was a long road. And I actually celebrated my 1 year on May 8th. And
man, dang.
Yeah, so every week we try to talk about, you know, things that just to maintain like sanity with all of this stuff going on and all of your avenues and getting pulled in so many directions. Like, how do you wake up and not just like, you know what I mean? Like rip your hair out every day, or like, how do you like stay like as even keel as you are? Cause I've only known you for a very, very, very short period of time, but I've never seen you like, you know, not out of your element or like riled up, jazzed up, anything like that. You've always been like super even keel. Like, how do you maintain that?
Man, shoot. I mean, it takes being like spiritually grounded, mentally grounded on like what's really important, you know? And I think like I wasn't always like this as much, you know? Like it took a lot of like learning, growing, maturing as a person. Like, you know, I probably used to want success for different reasons.
Right.
You know, at different times in my life, but I think knowing that, I think you gotta know what your purpose is in life.
For
right?
sure.
And I think like having a life purpose is more important than anything.
Anything.
And when you can intertwine, when you learn how to intertwine your purpose with your work, then work takes on a different meaning. You
Definitely.
know? Like you can be working in customer service at a store. It just depends on what you feel like your purpose is in life, right? And I think like my purpose is intertwined with hip hop. That's why I keep going, because I think like this is the avenue that I've been placed in to do the most good in this world.
So it's never been like forced. It's always been something that like,
Man, like, you know, one of my closest friends is here. Like, I want to quit doing this so many times. And for whatever reason, like, I just never quit. You know, I've seen a lot of people quit and give up on what they love. And I know at times when I tried to quit, I felt even worse. So that's what I think, like, you know what your purpose is because it's that thing that you just keep getting placed around, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, ever since I've been a kid, I've been around this culture, I've been doing this type of work, like ever since I can remember, you know what I mean? Since I've been a teenager. So it's like, I think like, you know, just having purpose intertwined with your work.
For sure.
That's a big part of it. And then also, like staying even killed, like, I just don't take nothing. I don't take a lot of things personal. You know, I realize sometimes like when people act out, it's really not you. It's something.
It's on them.
Yeah. So, and in this like field I'm in, you know, a lot of things is like when you see people or there's like conflict, it's really like ego driven. You know,
always.
And, like, everybody wants to be the top person. And for whatever reason, you know, it's just like people, especially in like entertainment or music or any type of entertainment field, you know, it's like people chasing stuff. And, and the truth is like success or money, or even if you reach that top position, whatever it is you're aiming for is not going to bring you happiness or peace. So it's like once you figure out how to find that, that's when you start really getting success, because you're not dependent upon these external things to bring you peace or happiness or divine success for you, you know? Like
for sure.
That's
and I think some of it is like a lot of people aren't comfortable looking in the mirror. Yeah. So, you know, a big portion of it for me, like going through my recovery was, you know, I hated the person that I looked at when I looked in the mirror. And, you know, accountability and, you know, ego and all of that stuff has to, like, you got to pump the brakes on, like, you know, you just got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and love who you are. And I really think that, you know, in order to succeed, you know, you talk about money and you're talking about fame and you talk about like all of these material things, but like you said, I mean, at the end of the day, if you can't look at yourself in the mirror, what are you really doing it for? Exactly. And you could, you know, you see examples of that all the time where, like, you know, there's people that people have looked up to that reach all these things and they're still unhappy, or that's not success. If you reach, you know, these heights that people dream about and then you die, you know what I mean? Like through a drug overdose, or you you know, all these material things and then you lose it because you're not responsible, whatever. You know, I just know that I never wanted to be in that position. Right. Because like when you are privileged enough to, or, you know, lucky enough to get some kind of success, there's a million people who wanted that and dreamed of that and never reached it. I never wanted to be one of those people who like fumbled the opportunity. You know, you had the opportunity that so many wish and pray for and work for, only to lose it. Yeah. You know, and that's something like I pray about and hope for, like whatever, you know, I hope that whatever I'm working towards, that I'm mature enough to handle it. And I believe like now, you know, just in my life, the things that are happening, the opportunities I'm getting is because I'm capable of managing, you know, managing these things. Like a lot of people want to be successful in rap, but they don't know. Really, they're just not ready for it. Yeah, it's a lot that comes with this. You got to be, you know, you got to be able to deal with interacting with a lot of people. It's not just fun and games. It's not just going to the studio, making a song and then rapping that everybody loves you. You got to deal with the hate, love,
people asking you for stuff, people, people you don't even know talking about you.
For sure.
People you don't even know not liking you. People, waiting for you to slip so they can be in the position they think you're in. It's like all of that.
Or on the opposite side, people who see you get it a little bit, and then it's like, now I'm your best friend, and now I want to love you to death, and now everything is everything. I didn't say anything before. Like, yeah. I mean, again, I think it just all goes back to, accountability and looking at yourself in the mirror and loving what you see. But I want to kind of rewind because I want to talk about some music before we get into like Charged Up Fest. You have a lyric that it stood out to me. I think it's off of Richmond Brave, and it's off the song Hello. And it says, my name means rest, but I'll never take a day off. Can you like explain that? Like, your name means rest. What does that mean?
My name is Noah, and Noah is, that's what it means. Like, my name is Noah. The name Noah means rest, like to rest. You know what I mean? But I don't never take a day off.
I love that. As soon as I heard it, I was like, man, I gotta write that down. That thing was crazy. I think
crazy. Like, names are important. Like,
for sure.
If you don't know what your name means, go look it up, because every name, every word has a meaning.
Definitely.
And I'm just like somebody who reads, and so I know what all my names mean. Like my first name means rest, my middle name means laughter, and my last name means wealth.
See, I'm gonna go look mine up right after this.
You know what I mean? So I'm very intentional about that. So I've never just like all of my kids, their names have like meanings, because these are attributes and things you're speaking and putting over somebody. You want that to have like meaning.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's dope. Like I said, I heard it and I was like, no, I'm gonna immediately write that down, because that was just a crazy part of me. I mean, it's not like super like in depth. I just heard the words and I was like, my name means rest. I'll never take a day off. I was like, damn, that's fire.
Most of my rhymes, I don't think like, I have some rhymes that are complex, but like some of the rappers, like I think I looked up to or tried to emulate, like the two rappers I named. Like, to me, their rap styles were straightforward, but they're also complex at the same time.
For sure.
And so I think me as a rapper, that's the type of rapper I wanted to strive to become and emulate, somebody who's like not too much over people's heads, but just like,
where you gotta like Google every lyric and like try to
and that's impressive. That's impressive for some artists, if that's what you want to become, but I never wanted to be that type of rapper.
All right, so let's just get into it. Charged Up Fest, 4 days.
Yes, sir.
May 30th, June 2nd.
Yep.
Kind of start at the beginning, and then let's just kind of take it like day by day, and then so everybody knows exactly where to go, where to be, what's going on, all that kind of stuff.
Charged Up Fest kicks off Thursday, May 30th. We're starting with a bike ride with the Broad Street Bullies. If you have a bike, you can pull up. Anybody can ride, from kids to adults. After that, we're doing a wax build-up party. That's an all vinyl party. Occurs several times a year with the DJ crew. On Friday, I'll be throwing the first pitch at the Richmond Flying Squirrels baseball game. After that is the kickoff concert at the Hofheimer with over 20 media platforms that will be in attendance.
Let's go.
After that, we're doing the after party at Ember Music Hall with 2 Triple O. That's like a 2000s era party. They normally sell out. Then Saturday, we're doing a clothing drop here, then a block party from 12 to 5 right next to the store. After that is a panel discussion at the Black History Museum with different artists and entrepreneurs. That evening, Saturday, June 1st, is the Producers Cup. There's gonna be like several producers playing beats, including, we had Bink and legendary producer Large Professor, different guest artists performing. Sunday, we have a community basketball game at John Marshall High School. And the last thing is the grand finale concert at the Broadberry.
So when are you gonna sleep?
Hopefully that Monday. Really Monday. Tuesday, because this is gonna be, I gotta make sure people get home.
Straight, yeah.
Yeah, but
for sure.
After this, you know, I'm not gonna do nothing for a while.
I don't blame you at all.
Yeah, man. But yeah, Charged Up Fest. Get your tickets online. Several events are free, and then some events are ticketed, but go to chargeupbnt.com. You get tickets for all the events.
Well, I appreciate you coming through. Actually, I came through. I appreciate you letting me come through, do an interview. You know, we've been talking about this for a little bit now. I'm glad we finally got it done with. Bro. Yeah, thank you, man. This is Jason from Fairly Decent. That's Noah O. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Peace.